Today I'll be telling you what happened to Marco van Ginkel, the forgotten footballer who is still at Chelsea Football Club, but how his career was destroyed by depression, injury and loan moves. But let's get straight to it. In 2013, Jose Mourinho managed to get his hands on one of the most talked players in the world at that time, Marco van Ginkel. He was 19 at the time and had just run riot with Vitesse and was ready to join Chelsea for a total of 8 million, a lot of money for just a 19-year-old, and he was ready to make his debut. However, Jose Mourinho didn't play him for a long time, but he finally got his debut against Hull, and they soon found out that there was a reason why Mourinho didn't want to play Van Ginkel. 5 minutes into his Chelsea debut, Marco suffered a bad ankle injury, which was soon confirmed to keep him out for another month. After a long wait, Van Ginkel finally got his return to Stamford Bridge against Swindon Town in the Carabao Cup. Only 10 minutes into playing, he fell down, this time with a knee injury, and this turned out to keep him out for the rest of the season as he was sidelined in a painful way to get back on the bridge already. Things have been tough for Van Ginkel so far, but he didn't know that soon enough he'd be on loan to AC Milan. Van Ginkel found out he was going to AC Milan on loan. He thought it was a great idea for him to bounce back from his injury and show Chelsea that he's the still wonder kid that they had bought and he can get back into the 11 of Chelsea. He got a good run of games at AC Milan but wasn't performing, and soon enough he got injured again and was sidelined for a total of 6 games. On his return, he did get back in better form. However, he only managed to play 18 games for AC Milan that season. His lack of games, he only managed to get 1 goal and 3 assists as he watched his side finish 10th in the Serie A table. A very disappointing season, but he would be going back to Chelsea, and he was very excited for the new season, wondering whether Chelsea would manage to get him in the lineup and would show that he's still the youngster that they signed. However, that soon seemed to be the opposite. As he came back to Chelsea, he realised he was going back on loan to an even worse club. First club was actually in the Premier League, however it was Stoke City. Van Ginkel wasn't thrilled to join a team like that, however he was on the positive side, thinking that he could still salvage this and maybe Chelsea will be watching more carefully because it is a Premier League club. And however, he did play a few times, he wasn't scoring though, and by more or less January he still hadn't scored. And after a comfortable win against Leicester City when they won 3-0, the team was celebrating, but Van Ginkel was not, because guess what? Yet again he had fallen down injured as he ruptured his knee once again, and he had to go back to Chelsea to get a medical, and he was not happy and he started going into depression and things weren't looking good for him. Week after returning to England, it was confirmed that Marco would be out for another month. This put him into severe depression as no one from the club of Chelsea had contacted him. Jose Mourinho had not talked to him since the injury and his return to England, and it seemed like no one really cared about him. He refused to go anywhere and he did individual training from what he could do, and he was getting very depressed and he was wondering why was Mourinho doing anything, and he just waited till deadline day, and on the 1st of January, Jose Mourinho spoke his first words to him since coming back to England, and it was, "You're going on loan to PSV." Marco started suffering from severe depression now. He couldn't play for the club that owned him because they didn't want him, and he really didn't feel well about his football career. However, with the support from his friends and family, he managed to get back on level terms and went to PSV hoping for the best for the second half of the season. He didn't get any injuries, which was good, and he managed to play 13 matches, getting 8 goals and 1 assist, and he was very happy about that. And PSV even wanted to extend that loan for 2 years. Chelsea thought, why not? He can get back to himself there, and we'll see you in 2 years' time, and if you carry on playing like you did in that second half of the season, you could have a place in our team. And he did, because in the 16-17 he was absolutely amazing. The pre-season of the 16-17 season, Marco caught so many teams' eyes as he was astonishing, and people thought, why have Chelsea loaned this guy out? They should recall him back in. But they had to recall him back in because guess what? He suffered yet another knee injury. Missing half the season, he was at Chelsea's sideline as he got yet again. He got treatment, and soon enough it was healed and he went back to PSV. He did manage to play a total of 15 matches and he scored more goals than last time. Total was actually less goals, but he made a much better impact, getting 7 goals and 4 assists, and he was really happy with his individual performance. And despite being there a short time, they saw his leadership, they saw his experience, and PSV told him, we don't want you to get injured. If you're not going to get injured, you're our captain for next season. And he was thrilled to hear that news. He couldn't wait to captain the Dutch team as he went into the 17-18 season, and a miracle happened in Dutch football thanks to one man, Marco van Ginkel. didn't only score 14 goals and 4 assists and get nominated for Player of the Season, but he captained his team to win the league. PSV were champions of the Holland, and Marco van Ginkel was on the form of his life. He was back again. He may have been only 24 then, but he got back to his best, and Chelsea were noticing, and he got the call 3 games before the end of the season saying, win or lose the title this season, because they'd win it in the end, you're going to be playing for Chelsea next season. We can guarantee that. And Van Ginkel was on a high. You know, he lifted the trophy for them, and the last game of the season, he would be an emotional one. He knew he would cry of happiness probably as his time at PSV ended, but he did cry, but of sadness, because guess what? When things were going well for him, he ruptured his knees again. A sad story continues for him, and he missed out for the whole of the 18-19 season. The one when he was meant to be under new boss Maurizio Sarri. The one when he was meant to be playing for Chelsea. When he was meant to be thriving, he was crying once again, suffering from depression. Things weren't looking good for him. As the 18-19 season came to an end, Chelsea did well, Van Ginkel didn't. He had to hope for the best for the 19-20 season because he was fit, but where would he go next? It was the 19-20 season for Marco van Ginkel. He was already at the age of 25. But good news was coming in. Chelsea had a transfer ban, meaning he was guaranteed to play under new boss and legend Frank Lampard. He had played with him, so he knew they'd built a good relationship on the pitch. Could they get it off the pitch? Could he be in the lineup? He was back again on cloud line, but it still went down because he did get injured again, and he was out for the 19-20 season. It's just such a sad story, and it just got worse for Van Ginkel. He wept, he cried, Lampard tried to support. No one could fix this, and Van Ginkel had a fear of playing football. Injuries he knew he'd get. Then it leads to depression, alone again. He'd be well. It's a cycle that wouldn't stop with Van Ginkel. But as he did this throughout his whole career, it may have not worked, but he still kept that positive attitude with him. And in the 19-20 season, the 2021 season, he has to return to his home class, PSV, and I hope the best for him. I really do. I think everyone does, Chelsea fan or not. We want the best for Van Ginkel. I hope he thrives, and he's already 26, with them maybe not many years he has left. I hope he does well, and I hope it's his dream, he said in an interview, that his last game in football will at least be a full 90 minutes for Chelsea, because since joining us in 2013, he's only managed to play 4 matches, not a full game, and I wish him the best. I hope he recovers soon from his injury and he can thrive at PSV. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, please always leave a like, subscribe, and smash the bell to get notified when we upload all our videos. You've been watching Iron the Ball, and I'm out.